Uh, Good morning, my dear friend. The I've been offline. I haven't presented my messages on uh what they call my spiritual science series. First, my lap my laptop got damaged because that's what I do all my research on and do my video and download my video. It got damaged. I took it to a repairer, and up to now he hasn't called me yet. So, uh, keep tuning. I'll be coming back with fire. Like I said, we are Liberians living in exile, but our hearts and minds in our country. Because every African that in this country that working hard, some of them have built back home, and every vacation they love to go home, especially the Ghanaians, Nigerians. They have peace at home, and they have their investment back at home, and they love to go home every vacation with the children, even the children they born over here. They take them home to know where their parents coming from and where their roots come from. But for us Liberian, we got a problem. Our nation history is very delicate history that we have. A lot of things went wrong in our country, and people overlook it. And then the war came and made it worse. And it seemed that people who want to be in leadership have no idea what to do to fix the country. Everybody just want to be president before they can do something for Liberia. And that's where our problem is. Because I always come out to expose this thing because I grew up as a child. I was very close to politics. I was very close to what are going on in my high school life. I was very active in high school. I wasn't an A student in high school. I was a B student because 50% of my school life has always been extracurricular activities. I always planning. I was always there for people all over the school. Those who know me and want to say the truth, they will say that's who I've always been. So I always maintain a B Irish, and 50% went to extracurricular activities. So I was abreast with everything that happened politically in the country, especially Toba being my role model from a very young age. And I follow him. And I follow his heart, what he meant for Liberia. He really wanted to unite that country and really develop it by developing the minds of Liberians. But what we're forgetting that the war came and damaged everything. Everything that we didn't even have. Whatever we didn't have in Liberia, the war damaged it. So which means the war damaged the generation that wasn't born. It damaged the generation that was part of that war wave in 1990 to 2003. That group, it damaged them. And the children that group had was also damaged in advance by the war. And by the time they were born, they got right into what happened to our country. So people, until we go back to the evil that we did to one another, it was a division between the Americo-Liberian and the indigenous people. That split came. Politicians used it to get into power. And they left that gap. They didn't close it. Though came in through the military and had 10 years. And that same group circled around Doe and created more mess for that country. All Liberian people know to blame each other. This person they call, this person they call. Nobody ever see themselves in what they have done for that country. That's why everybody just stealing. Because somebody felt like, oh, the Congo people took the money, so it's our time, we're indigenous people. So, but if you were crying for your nation from the hands of the Congo people, what are you supposed to do with it when you get it? You supposed to shut it out, or you supposed to fix it? If the Congo people stole, and you fighting for your country, you got it. You supposed to steal too? So that's my question this morning. This is what I'm talking about this morning. You know, I do my preaching at the same time talk about the issue in our country, because that's the country that we have. We are being adopted by other countries, but we still hold our love to our country because we got to go back. That's where we're coming from. That's our roots. In fact, the life we're living here, every day people pushing in your face to make it look like you're different. Even though you're carrying passport, but when you're having conversation, they would let you know that you're different. You're not part of us. Even though you got our passport. People put it in my face so many times. There were so many people talking my passport. I saw that facial expression was so bad off. But if I'm holding a Liberian passport, who's going to frown at me? I'm just saying it. I don't have problem. These are social problems that you find in every country. But I'm just telling you, our Liberian people, that we need to do better. And you know, we're talking about election coming 2023. Everybody in line. Everybody destroying each other. It's not different. Whatever happened in the war, that what happened in the political circle right now. Whatever took place in the war from 1980, after the 30 years of the rule of the Tory party, and was brutally, that government, after 30 years, it was brutally removed. And all the people who have the key to that country was placed on the pole, and they destroyed all of them and took away everything that they have for the country. Even people who took over that time, they took those people's property and for themselves. They share it among themselves. That's what happened. So the DNA of robbing people and taking people things by force and owning things that not for you is in the DNA of our country. And that what happened in the street of Monrovia. You carry your container on the port. Everybody in the port want to have portion of that money. Wherever you put in that container, everybody wants something for it. When you take your goods from out of the container, everybody wants some of that group, that goods. They don't care whether you spend money for it or not, or how you got your money to carry those goods to Liberia. Everybody just want it. They're riding $80,000 car, but they want the last $5 for your pocket. You know, why is it people do not know what has gone wrong with our country? And only someone with a heart of love, someone who's standing on the iron pole, at the same time holding on to God, that country has to be fixed with love and still handling it. You got to have iron hand. You got to put the feet down. You got to be able to say no to this. You got to be able to tell somebody that if you rape anybody's child, we'll rape your dick. And you know, it's not something. You know what God did? Why you think God destroyed Judea? You think the people, when God burned down Judea, you think the people there, they live in the fire? They got burned. Because God's anger has gone beyond. He talked to them, he did everything to talk to the children of Israel. And they didn't listen. They're talking for granted. So he took his favorite people and allowed Nebuchadnezzar to take them to Babylon. And those people who he taught, they had specific instruction to learn, go to school, and become engineers and scientists, so that one day they will return to rebuild the broken walls of Jerusalem. Liberia, when the war came, God took us out. There were people that we were all walking on single file on rebel lines. There were people who didn't make it. And we came here with but we come here, there are people here who destroying each other. Some people want to be on top of everybody, so they destroy everybody down to a family. That's the idea. That's not what the idea of God saving you from the war and taking you to exile to come and destroy each other in exile when you're already doing it back home. And people tend to forget it. They tend to feel that it's not things that have harmed the country, because people have paralysis in the brain. When you get paralysis of the brain cannot function. Even your own food on the table, you will pee in it before you eat it. That's what paralysis does to people. Paralysis of the brain. And until we can get together with love for nation. Love, punishing people with love, and making sure that I mean what I say. When they know you mean what they say, they will cut off from it. Why I say the issue of rape all over our country? Because if I was president, I would first of all lobby with the two houses to make corruption a capital punishment, and rape in our country to be a capital punishment. I will push for that. Because when you come from other deadly war and people who are not educated, because when 1980, at the end of 1980, the issue of education was done in our country. People were just buying paper to get grades. Only few dedicated people who knew what they wanted in life ready to learn. What's all? Ellen Johnson had all the money in the world. But at the end of her administration, you know what she said? She said, Liberia has a messy educational system. That's the comment. That's the last comment that Ellen Johnson made when she had all the money. She tried to put money into educational system. But the people who were building the institution was about raising money for themselves. They were not concerned about imparting sound education in the minds of the kids. So they just opened all the mischief or what they call it, the colleges to run for government. And you know that Nigerian movie kind of a system that was in Liberia. What they see on Nigerian movie, that what they're doing in our country. Movie is drama, but it's become realistic in our nation. So how will our country ever move from where it is? How can we help the young generation? We got more female in Liberia than men. How can we develop the female population and stop people from abusing them? It's by putting that law. If it means just within the first 5 years, you put strong law, you amend the constitution to put strong law down that will guide the people. So after 5 years, you have built the educational institution, you have built a financial, let's say, economic system of that country, you have put the resources of that country into proper use for the people. In 5 years time, with those strong punishment, capital punishment for corruption, capital punishment for rapes, capital punishment. Yes, that's true. That's what be okay. It already in the Constitution, when you kill, you find guilty, they're supposed to kill you. The Constitution says that. And that rules come from the days of the Bible. And not anything they put in Constitution. Liberia Constitution is 100% was before 1980 when the Amos Sawyer group got to rewrite the Liberian Constitution. They made some amendment in it that but 75% of that Constitution is that of the same Constitution of the United States of America. But it's not working for us because the people who handle the Constitution do not know what to do with it. They're using it for themselves, to benefit themselves. Not the people that need to be benefited. Everybody want to be president. Look at what's going on with them. You think it means well for that country to be doing what they're doing to each other? Somebody who come from battlefield and run to be president, what do you expect from them? And that 12 years should have been emphasized to de-traumatize and bring at least 50%, 40% other young generation, bring them to reality, to real life. And that wasn't done. And this is the problem we got now. So you got to get a really president who know what they're doing and will put their feet down and will not be a president that will be looking for all the most beautiful women to lay all with. They'll be looking for where all the money is, where they can take the money and find someone to cover it up. That's not the kind of president that country looking for. That president looking for a country that will put the president that will put his feet down to get the job done. That will put his or her feet down. Try to develop more women. Liberia right now, when women leadership can actually help that country. Even the man, this president, put so strong women into the ministry. Because the group that's there now, they got all the women have been compromised. Most of them. But they got women in our country that in exile. Liberia got some of the greatest brain in different countries. They're hiding themselves. Ellen Johnson had attempted to bring some of them And there was a lot of noise. So I come this morning with a live broadcast to just reflect on the country and what's going on in our nation. You know, because I will tell you, in this country, before they register you, they give you social insurance number. They know from the time you are born and your birth record is there. So who handling birth record in our country to determine who is eligible to vote? Because 15 years or 20 years, I saw it. All of the people who voted for CDC, most of them from 15 years old, 12 years old, if you don't mind, they went, who were able to take their card to prove their birth. You know, that they were born at this time, so they're 18 years old, they qualified to get a voter registration card. You tell me that. There are some things that make sense. So that group that when I went to Liberia 2017, before the campaign started, I used to walk from Oro to downtown Monrovia because I refused to sit down on motorbike. I said I would never sit down on anything that robot driving. So I never sat on any motorbike. Never ever until I got my hands on my vehicles. I then started driving. But I decided to walk to interact with people to see the real thing in our country. 15-year-old, 16-year-old, all of them were voting. And that what happened. So it really in the voter registration really scrutinized. And we have a health system that have birth records. Even you do traditional delivery. The child, along with that child in a village, the chiefs will report it to the hospital. That child records will be recorded and sent to Monrovia to Ministry of Health. Let it be in the database. So who there? So all the babies then voting in our country. So that will probably have people who might not develop. They're the one that voting. So what do we do? That's the situation we have. Some of us will talk about it. I'm getting old. So everything I know. And the next topic that I'm coming up with, I come up with how, when Doe took over the PPRC government, how everything started to go down. From the time they took over the PPRC, People Redemption Council, how they broke down the issue of Charles Taylor in our government, the issue of Thomas Quiwonkpah in our government, and several other PPRC members, how they started to eliminate because somebody started to tell the president the only way to stay in power, eliminate your friends. And they set some of them up. Some of them may have been compromised. But there's a me in depth of when that thing start falling short. Nobody knows that story. It's not written. It's an oral history, but I know it. And my next live broadcast, I will indicate how everything started going down with Charles Taylor at GSA, Quiwonkpah as commanding general, and the Quiwonkpah Charles Taylor versus the PPRC government, even though all of them were in it. There was a lot of things that happened. Even Taylor leaving the country, going to America, and the government sending what they call it, order to America to put in jail, America grabbing, put in jail. All of that information, those people who running up in our street that sitting in our office, they didn't even know nothing about it. I will reveal everything. And the book will come up because I want a young generation in our country. The children they born to read a book so they can know what went wrong with our country. There will come a time we'll develop children who will be interested in reading. Not depending on Google all the time. Google is good. But we got something that we need to do genuinely to remain in our mind. Where when we need something, where we can go to. So I just want to thank you for those of you who I see Victoria Hamilton watching. I see Hector. Oh, okay. Hector Hilton singing, watching. Cause Georgia Dix. I got an email. We'll do something about it. Let's see what happened. Bloje Kono, this watching, and all of you guys. Y'all spread this. I will share it. Spread this. Just share this video. Let the young people get to know some of the truth that happened to their country. Because the children need to know what has gone wrong with them, what need to be fixed. so that they can enjoy their country. Foreigners taking all the money out of that country. They just discovered, 2 years ago, they discovered the largest deposit of diamond in the Lower Belt. And that story gone dead. And they say, according to front page paper, is there. What could be the largest deposit of diamond in the world? Would be in Liberia. So you need someone who will have access to that diamond and infuse it into the Liberian economy. Not thieves, not rogues, not somebody who will set the president up so that they can be able to steal and leave. That's why they were open. Open where a man, when he brought in the government, they set him up. I was there. They set him up with money. Because they know he like money, so they set him up. So that why he can't do nothing. That's why open where is paralyzed. He can't take no decision. In the first place, he wanted to ask the Winger Church when he traveled one time, he came back. He said, how can he sign for war crime when all the people in the government for the war? And it makes sense. He said the truth. Another thing he said, he cannot punish anybody for corruption because everybody know each other, everybody friends. That's why Opo said that two things. One in Liberia, how he said, he made the announcement in as a Winger Church. When he wanted one, he traveled, came back, I got pick up all of that. LBS or the radio station supposed to have those recordings to play them. And listen, he said, how will I sign work around with all the people in my government? I mean, that all of them want to go. That's what George Weah said. He said he can't punish people for corruption because everybody know each other, everybody friend, that family in our country. And that's a real, it's real that we are formal, but doesn't mean that we should allow my brother. Our president, Jewel Tower executed his own brother for killing. That's what you call president. You got to set an example. God turned on his own chosen people and punish them. Not because he was not God, because they refused to listen to him, so he came down hard on them. So, it's the same thing, but you got to do it with love. God, everything, God, action, all was done with love. A leader should operate with love, punish you, punish your child that you love. Then you take him for a war. You say, my son, the reason why I whip you is because you did this, and because I do not want you to be a bad child when you grow up. That's why I'll flog you. Tell him why you flog him. Walk with him. Bala Kenny, Gary Kenny. You'll go to a restaurant and tell him why you punish him. You got to tell the child why you punish them so they can see you as an evil father or evil mother. That's what you do in government. Because you make me president over there, the first two rapists, your dick will be cut off. To set an example. You can move me for a president, fine. But I will set an example. I just saying it that way, but the punishment will be that severe as if I cut your dick off, then you will not use that dick again to go rape anybody child. That's what it is. Okay? When you steal, you minister, we will dress you in red suit and you will bring you every morning on Broad Street to sweep. And put it say, I am a corrupt minister. We'll write it on your back in loud print. Will not take you. After that, we'll offer you to go back to your job. But you'll be there 1 week or 2 weeks sweeping Broad Street in red suit where everybody see your children be going to school to see that sweeping. Then from there, I will offer you a job. I said, you can have a job, go back. Never do I condemn thee, go and sin no more. That's what Jesus told the group that brought the women who they said were caught in prostitution. And Jesus knew that those same men was the one that was sleeping with that woman. And they brought her not to stone her to death because they thought that woman was exposing because Jesus was on his preaching ministry. They knew that someone saw this. Okay, let's go and test him. Test him. If it go through, then we eliminate our evidence because they were the same men that was sleeping with a woman. So Jesus just asked him one question. Jesus right on the ground. And everyone came and saw what Jesus was writing. They ran away because they saw the attitude that you are one of the adulterers. When they saw it, they ran, they dropped the rock and ran. When Jesus lifted her hair, only he and the woman were sitting there. Jesus used silent treatment to deal with the righteous men who carried that woman to be stoned to death. You understand what I'm talking about here today? I just don't want to preach. I want to stop right here. And stay tuned When I get my laptop, I got my series going on my post, and you know the preaching. I preach about it raw. I'm not here to compromise myself or the gospel. You can go ahead and double your head and talk and run your mouth, whatever you want to do. I will preach the raw gospel, because that's the example of that woman. And that was caught in adultery. Those men that came with her, the same men that was sleeping with her. According to my religious mind, I assume that was happening, because the evidence is, what it is that Jesus was writing on that ground that they saw drop a rock and ran. Jesus never explained the Bible, didn't tell what Jesus was writing. But what the Bible told us that they saw something and they ran away. Why did they run? If you were justified, so it means that leaders should be upright in order to punish people when they go wrong. Have a blessed day. Regina and Blow J, all of you guys, just make sure that you share this video, because that's what all my video are about, to say the truth. I'm not here to polish. I'm not asking anybody for money because God gave it to me free. I give them the free. So those who running churches that want the people offering, they will preach someone that they want people that will make the poor bring the offering. But the offering is supposed to be used for those very people who bring in the offering, and not somebody to use it. You head in church congregation, you run private jet, helicopter, that the poor people are offering, you say, so that one plane is about 14, 15, 16 million dollars. You know how much can you do with even $10 million to improve the life of the people that sit in that congregation, that bring in that offering that you're using the Bible playing with? Yeah? Jesus took a money bag and gave it to Judas, because he knew Judas was greedy. He knew what Judas was going to do with it. Jesus didn't take that money to do nothing with it. He just wore a common gown that they didn't even worth half of what the Pharisees and the Levites were wearing. Just a little fringe, something he wore. He had money to speak that the greatest regalia will come on him, but Jesus didn't do that. He was a common man. Present the gospel in a more common fashion. Let people know what is in it for them, for their lives. Not to pretend for them to offering. I will preach offering. What it's for, and why God intended offering and tithe, and what the benefit that you have. That's what we can preach. If you bring your tithe offering, this is the benefit. And let the people see the benefit. Let them see the benefit. Because it starts with them in the church before you even go outside. Have a blessed day, and may God bless all of you people. Share and keep sharing and keep sharing. Have a blessed day. Bye. Your man, Mr. Yoya, the straight jacket guy. I don't have a lot of friends, but I don't care. Jesus and God, my two best friends that I have, that I hold, because men, friendship never hold for a long time, just for the while. But God friendship is for the rest of your life. So let us stick on to God rather than putting our faith in people who will smile with us when they turn behind us. The worst is being said. Have a blessed day. God bless you. Amen.